Hello everyone, this is the Super Wig Maker, and today I'm making a video to show people how to order from me and also answer some basic questions that everyone keeps asking. I have talked about these things through my videos, but truth to be told, you cannot expect someone to pay attention to each and every single video I have made in order to know all the terms and things about the wig making of hair pieces and the terms that I'm using. The questions are very reasonable, and some people already know some stuff. Others do not know all the terms that I use. So I'm gonna break this video down to sections, and I'm gonna write here the things that I'm gonna cover, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you can also go to the section of that video if you're interested only in that. One is how to order a new hairline. 2. How to order a closure. 3. How to order a frontal. 4. How to order a full wig, whether it's a full lace wig or a lace front or a lace front with a closure or with a fixed parting, a full wig. 5. Shipping things. 6. Pricing, and I'm gonna explain a few things about that. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about what high definition and half definition is, because people need to know that, because it also plays a part on the price. Single knots or double knots, this is something that most people know, but some people are still asking for that. And 9, I'm going to talk about hair in general and how I work with it, what you need to send me or might not send me and stuff. So let's get started and show you each section one by one. Okay, how to order a new hairline. The first thing you need to have is some cellophane wrap, which is the food wrap that we use. Some clear tape. It can be the flat one, which I prefer, or it can be the thinner one, which will take a little bit more job to do. And you're also going to need a permanent marker with a fine tip. Okay, make sure that it has a fine tip. We don't want this to be very thick, because I'm going to show you why. The first thing you're going to do is you have to make a mold. Not so much a mold, because mold has to do with the shape, but you have to make the shape. You have to mark everything. So what you're going to do is cut a little bit of cellophane wrap. I'm going to cut it down here. Okay, they've got a little scrambled. And when we make a new hairline, we usually speak about temple to temple. The new hairline might be all the way from the ear to ear, but usually people just ask from a temple to temple, because this is the areas of interest. These are the areas that we usually don't have. We have thinning hair, but you can also do it from ear to ear. So I'm going to show you how to do a temple to temple. The first thing you need to do is just brush your hair backwards and expose the whole area. As you can see, my temples are kind of backward. It's not receding hairline. I've had this hairline since I was a kid. This is how it naturally is. But let's say that I want to fill this area with hair and make sure that I cover everything correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tape, I'm going to measure approximately how much I want and cut it. And then I'm going to tape it flat in the area of interest. If you use small tape, it might take you a little more to cover that area. That's why I use the fat tape. But with the small tape, you can actually have more defined molds, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to take another section. Cover some more. And one last, just to make sure that I have everything taped. I'm going to put it right just put it in the same place as previous. One more. Okay, now that we have everything taped and we have a cast, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a real thin pen and start marking. I'm not gonna be too careful now because I try to be on frame and at the same time hide my face. So I'm gonna mark first my own hairline and how that is. I mean the hairline that I already have and I don't like, supposedly. And then I'm gonna mark the hairline that I wanna have. Okay? It's an ugly hairline that now that I'm drawing, but you get the point. The point is that you need to mark your existing hairline and the hairline you wish you had, or something like that. Then you're gonna remove this, obviously. And let me just get some white background. This is what you should have. I hope you can see it. Just okay. You have the shape. Now there are two things you can do. If I'm gonna be using hair that I have, you just take this, flatten it as much as you can, and then scan it. And at the same time, you need to have a ruler to measure two specific points. And this way I will be able to duplicate the whole piece by printing it in the actual size, and then I'm gonna have the shape of yourself. The reason why you can actually mail this to me in an attachment is because this is pretty much a flat piece, and if it's not super flat you can actually cut the excess, like go ahead and cut off this area, because it does have a little bit of a curvature, but if you cut off the rest of it, you will see that this is just a flat piece. And now it can actually be very flat. You can see that it's super flat, it doesn't have any curvature now. But it should fit my head again. If I put it back, sorry, upside down. If I put it here, you can see that it's gonna fit again my head. Okay? So you can just scan this. If I use my own hair, if I don't use my hair and I use hair that you sent me, because a lot of times people send me their own biological hair, a haircut ponytail, or they take hair that matches their skin tone, or sorry, their hair tone and the hair color and the hair texture. When you send me the hair, put this inside the envelope along with the hair, and then I'm gonna get it and work on that. So this is how you order a new hairline. How to order a closure. It's very simple to understand what a closure is. A closure is nothing but something that has a width and a depth. And usually it can be square, or it can have a little bit of a curvature in the back, depending on what you want, what you have done to your hair, or your U-part wig, or anything. So the only thing you need to do is very simple. Let me get my tape. Because a lot of times people ask me, like, should I get a 4x5, a 5x4? But it's up to you. What you need to do is take the tape and measure how wide you want this to be. Let's say that I want this to go from temple to temple. It should be 6 inches. I hate inches, but it's something that a lot of people do. Or it's 15 centimeters. See? It's 15 centimeters. It's that just that the centimeters are more accurate than the inches. And then I want to see how deep I want this to be. So I'm putting the 0 on the starting of my hairline and go back, and I feel where I like it to go back. So let's say that I want it to go a little forward than my crown. It should be 5 inches or 13 centimeters. So I want a 6x5. Okay, that's how you need to do for your own closure. Now, if you really want the front of your closure, if you get like a temple to temple closure, you might want to have, you don't want this to have a straight line. You can send me a mold of your hairline so I can duplicate it and implement it on your closure. If you don't have any leave out and you want this to be your your new hairline or something, you can actually do that thing. Or I could actually use some, yeah, I have some here. This is an average hairline, not this specific one. This is a good one. It's from Tiffany. She has a very good and representative average hairline. So anyway, I can make it straight line. I can make it with a custom hairline. If it's too narrow, like a fixed parting or something, you might want this to be just a straight line. Or if you have your own leave out, like for example, you have this amount of your own hair out, then the back can actually be a straight line, as you can see that. My hair looks a little oily now, so forgive me for that. Okay, you get the point. This can be a straight line, then you can have your own leave out and make sure that it just works very nicely. How to order a frontal. A frontal is essentially a new hairline from ear to ear with a depth. Now, the typical frontal, and I'm gonna show you my prices, not in this video, but you will see if you mail me. It's a 13 to something like 13 by 4. 13 is in inches, and it usually is what your top ear is. Mine is 13 inches. What a shock, and I have a huge head. You also can measure that. It's a little smaller. No, I think this is the 13 inches that they mentioned. Yeah. This is 13 inches in myself as well. Anyway, you can actually tell me that my frontal is going to be like 11 inches by 4. The second number is the depth. How long do you want this to go? And you really need to show me, to give me your personal hairline, because if you don't, I'm going to use an average one, the one that I have drawn, but it's not going to be your custom. So if you really want to make a good frontal, you have to take the cellophane wrap again, put it all the way from one end to the other, making sure that you have all the area of interest included. Let me just cut this off, making sure that I don't cut off my long hair. Okay, let me just put this over here. And now, the reason why I want you to make a custom mold, a shape, is because it's not just about the hairline, it's also about the curvature. Not everyone has the same forehead. Not everyone has, some people have it more tilted, some people have it more vertical, and some people have more of a round shape here, some have it more flat. Lace has a little bit of stretch to it, but why not make it a perfect shape for you? So I'm going to remove my glasses for just a little bit while now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this again, just like I did with the hairline, making sure that I cover everything. So let me just do that. If you think that this is flapping too much and you want to keep it down, what you can do is put it right from here and up to here like that, and make sure that it's not gonna move. Okay, so I taped it on myself and I can talk very easily now, but it's okay. Okay, you have to make it as good as possible and lay flat on your head. And then the next thing you're gonna do is, oh, let me just, yeah, I just don't really want to keep it as tight as possible. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your fine marker pen, and I'm gonna mark approximately my hairline, because now I'm not wearing my glasses and I can't really see. And you're gonna mark all of your hairline. And if you want to have, this is your existing hairline, if you want to make a different hairline, you can actually have one more drawing and say that, you know what, I want this to be a little lower. Or let's say that I want baby hair here, I can mark that as well. And then, oh, I have to dig it out. A little bit of my hair. Not good. And then you end up having that. Let me just tape this inside. This is what you end up having. And this is the hairline, which is not very accurate right now because I couldn't see, because I need my glasses and I'm trying to be on frame. I don't look at myself in the mirror very nicely. And then you ship this to me, okay? Because it's not just about the hairline, it's also about the curvature. You can see that it has a curvature. And when I make the frontal for you, it's gonna be fitting like a glove to yourself. You're gonna put it on your head and it's gonna nest there as if it's so natural. It's the shape of your own head shape, okay? So you really want this to happen so you don't have any additional tension and stuff. You send this along with the hair, because usually you're gonna be sending me your hair, okay? But as I said, if you're not sending me hair and you don't want to send a package and you want to save a little money on shipping, you can very easily just cut off. You can very easily cut off just the hairline from ear to ear. Making sure that you give only the area of interest. Discard this and keep this. So you can see that it's still flat. Doesn't have any curvature or anything. So you can actually scan this and give me the measurements. Of course, the rest of the curvature is going to be an average of what my like my mannequin head has, my canvas block or anything. So don't judge me on that. If you want this to be perfect, you better send me your head mold. And lastly, I'm going to talk to you about how to order a full lace wig. Or a full wig in general. Doesn't have to be a full lace wig, but when you commit to buy a full wig from me and you commit to pay for a Super Wig Maker, I think it's fair enough and wise enough to really make the head mold. So what you're gonna need is you need to take your hair in. Sorry, let me just. Your hair inside the cap in order to keep it all in, or you can just braid your hair the way you would have it when you wear the wig and make sure that it's all in. Now I'm not gonna make the best job because I just want to demonstrate that, and yeah, something like that. You can actually take it a little further upwards, but I'm gonna keep it below my hairline. Okay, and then you're gonna take the cellophane wrap and you're gonna make sure that you have enough for your whole head. I want you to cover everything. I want you to cover the neckline as well. Do not leave any spots, and in order for this not to slip, you can actually place it under your head like that and then cut the excess. This way you're doing it by yourself without the help of anyone. You can do a good job. I'm inspecting and I can see that I have the cellophane wrap everywhere. I'm just gonna make sure that I can see. And then of course you take the tape and you can actually do it piece by piece or just do the way I do it. Make sure that you cover all the area of interest. Wherever you have hair, you need to have tape as well. And of course, now that you have taped everything, you take the marker and then you mark your perimeter carefully. I'm not gonna make the best job again because I really need to make this fast for you to see. You might want to get some help with this one because you have to make the back as well. No, I'm not making the best job in the back, obviously. or something like that. And then the tough part, taking it out. And you can refine the marking. You can see I have my markings everywhere. You can refine if something doesn't look very good, like in the neck area, for example, or the front part. If you want to cover something, if you think that your temples are going a little bit too far, and you want to make it less intense, things that you want, and then you just write your name on top of it just to remember who is who, because I get a lot of templates, and just ship it to me. Okay. Yeah, pretty much that's how you make a wig. Make sure that you cover everything. Don't have any weak spots. Don't have any exposed just with cellophane, because it just loses the shape. I need tape. Better yet, be clear tape. I don't need you to mark a lot of things up here, just your perimeter. If you really want something like, if you want to have a fixed parting, side parting wig and everything else wefts, you can actually mark where you want this to be, so I can be sure that I'm doing the right job. So yeah, this is for the wig. Okay, some general information now. Do I ship everywhere? Yes, I ship everywhere. You have option for a registered mail or courier. You pay the shipping cost anyway, so it's up to you. My prices are in euros, not in dollars. It's not in dollars, not in British pounds. I also have the little mark of the euro, but a lot of people just think that this is just dollars. Right now that I'm making the video, €1 is $1.10, so it's like 10% more. It's not a huge difference, but you need to know that. As for high definition and half definition, this is very important. High definition means, I always explain that, single strand, single knot. Half definition means 2 strands, single knot, and I space the knots twice as previously, so as to keep the density correct. Don't confuse it with single knots and double knots. Single knot means that I tie the knot once. I can have 1 strand or 2 strands or 3 strands, but I make a single knot. Double knot is more secure, and I have to knot it twice, thus the quality is not the same. Hair wise, for hair at this point I don't have human hair in stock, but I do plan to have in the future, and I just try to find good vendors. But I just want to let people know that when I ventilate hair, I always lose at least 2 inches or maximum 3 inches. So if you want your piece to have from root to end, let's say 20 inches, you better get yourself at least 22 inches for the ventilated part. Okay, for the wefted part, I don't lose any length, obviously, but what I say is that if you want to be secure, you better get 4 inches more than what you want, because I'm gonna lose 2 to 3 inches, and then you want to have like 1 extra inch at least in order for you to be able to give it a proper haircut. Okay. And one other question is, how many bundles? Well, for closures, half a bundle is enough, no matter the how big it is or how small it is, because whenever I don't use, I send it back. So if you give me 1 bundle, it's more than enough. I'm gonna give you back some hair. For a frontal, if it's short, 1 bundle is enough. If it's medium, maybe 1 bundle is enough if it doesn't have a lot of fillers. And if it's long, I think you better send me 2 bundles or 1.5 bundles if possible. And of course, whatever I don't use, I send it back. For wigs, if it's a full lace wig, short wigs 2 bundles, medium wigs 3 bundles, long wigs 3 bundles, and of course I might not even use everything. Again, I'm gonna send back whatever I don't use. And when the wig is having wefts, we need to have a little more. So you know, for short wigs, we might need more than 2 bundles. For medium wigs, maybe more than 3 bundles. It depends on how much wefted area we have. The more wefted area we have, the more hair we need, because wefted areas need more hair to cover. So I hope I covered most of the stuff. You can ask me anything you want here, and I'm gonna show this video to everyone who wants to buy with me and has a lot of questions. Maybe that answers a lot of your questions. And of course, I'm gonna include my email in the beginning and the end of this video. You can ask me things over there. Please be as specific as possible. Like, don't send me How much are your prices? Prices for what? Do you need a closure, a frontal, or a wig? I do not do any wig refurbishings anymore from other people. Like, don't buy an Asian cheap wig and send it to me and tell me, you know what, I want this and that. No, I don't do this anymore because it's too much job to do. It doesn't worth it, and I never get enough profit, and I only lose my time. What else? There are a couple of things that, yeah, I can work with wefted hair. I have already said that. Don't ask me if I can work with wefted or do I want bulk hair. Wefted hair is better because I can cut off the portion that I need and leave the rest as wefts. Bulk hair is bulk. If you want it to be wefted, then you have to weft it, so it's a problem. So if you send me weft, it's better. Yeah, pretty much. And of course, I can work with any kind of hair. Either it is thick, if it's thin, it depends on what you want. Thick hair make thick knots, thin hair make thinner knots. That's how it goes. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Thanks for watching, and ask me anything you want.